How's it going, guys? Today is February 25th, 2:09 p.m. here on the East Coast. So I want to do today's vlog a little bit about my day yesterday. It was a pretty interesting day. So I went into work yesterday. It's pretty much I went in a little early to take care of a couple things there, and the evening was a relatively busy shift for us. The managers there had to step up and actually do some more work than they typically do. So it was a pretty busy day, and then we transitioned over into the night portion where it concentrates more on the bar. And excuse me, I had an old friend come in from our days back in, I think we dated back to middle school. And he came into the bar and said hi to me, and we chatted for quite some time. He actually gave me some tips, like I'm using another light to increase visibility on these vlogs. So, and he's got a little bit of experience making commercials and things of that nature, and saying how light can be so important. So, taking his advice definitely and trying to incorporate some light a little bit better on this vlog. But yesterday turned out to be a pretty interesting day. There were some events that happened at work, like meeting a friend who I haven't seen in a while, or seeing a friend who I haven't seen in a while. And there was another friend too there who lives in town. This other one doesn't live in town, the one who I haven't seen in a while. So it was nice for him to drop by, say hi. We were able to catch up for a little bit, and we were talking about the vlog, and he thought it was he was very it seemed like he liked it, like he had a passion for it. So it's very interesting to see one of my friends' takes on it. I've had a lot of people's opinions and friends and family who've given me their opinions on the vlog, but to hear a friend who's known me on the friend aspect of life for quite some time, probably 15 years or so, was pretty interesting. And to see that they thought it was a pretty interesting thing that I was doing made me feel like it was, worth all the while. And yesterday was my 30th day anniversary of 1 month of doing the vlogs, and I woke up this morning and I had 21 yesterday before I went to work, and then when I looked this morning I had 26 subscribers. So I've never had the jump in 5 subscribers in one day, but I was really excited to see that this morning. Now my goal obviously was 10 initially for this month, and I met that relatively early just from close friends and family. And then 15 was the next goal, and I did that. And then I pushed it up to 20, which I didn't think I was going to be able to do, but I still had the effort to try, and I met that. And then I didn't even get a chance to think of 25 because I got to 21, and that was yesterday. And I wake up this morning and it's 26. One more than even I would have set for my next goal. So to me, the opportunities are just, they're self-made in a sense. Like the opportunity to set limits are all in my head for this vlog. And I'm trying not to limit myself in a way to not put limits on my numbers, but I wanted to set small goals that should be achievable in my eyes. But all these goals that I have are set by my own expectations and the outcomes that can come from that. So I was really excited to see that this morning. I'm just shy of 10,000 views for my channel, but I'm making a huge effort to try and get that information out there. So it's really exciting to see the growth of the channel. It's really exciting also to have a friend come by and be able to chat with him and get his perspective on my channel, because those are those people who've known you for like 15 years. They know, even though they may not have been around while I was in the military, they still got a good sense of the type of person that I am. And we actually talked about 9/11 because we were in the same class when that happened. We were in a history class, I believe, in high school, and they turned on the TV, and he remembers it, and so do I. And I didn't really think much of it back then. And we talked about that briefly yesterday, how I didn't think much of it um, with what was going on, and it was a little bit of a take back, and we were a little nervous then, but honestly, I didn't think about it. I never had intentions on joining the military, and lo and behold, I end up joining the military and uh, fighting for what seemed like parts of that same event that took place that day when I was in high school. So it's funny how things come back full circle when you're catching up with old friends and and trying to piece things together as you move along through life. But you can only piece them together as you look back on it and know that all these connections and people that have come into contact in your life are there for a reason. And this has been a dear friend of mine, and luckily my mom was at work, so she was able to see him. He used to, we used to hang out at each other's house from time to time. So it was good seeing him catching up. And then there was some not so thrilling events with other friends there at the bar, confrontational type of events that kind of dim the mood, for lack of better words. But as with everything, you can rebound from that type of situation whenever you do have people in that type of setting with beverages and things of that nature. Sometimes things can escalate rather quickly. Luckily for us and everybody that was there, nothing really that dramatic happened. So again, I guess the point of today's vlog is make sure you keep open lines of communication with those friends who have been in your past, especially ones that you grew up with and spent a lot of time with. Those people can sometimes give you the most honest feedback about yourself. Even if you went through certain life experiences, life gaps where they weren't there, they still have this image of you. And my friend told me something yesterday that kind of stuck out in my head, that he thought that I was one of the smartest people in class. And we're talking about a history class. We probably had several classes together, but history was one of my poorest subjects. But for him to feel that way about me and say those words to me meant a lot to me. I really did try and put my best foot forward in every class in high school, and was really particular with my GPA, and I graduated with a pretty high one. But we talked about universities, and regardless of how high my GPA was and what I had going for me, I was still rejected from the university here in Florida, and come to find out, so was he from a separate university. But now, he's graduated with a graduate degree in his studies, and I'm on the same path to do the same. A little bit later, of course, because I joined the military, but all the less we're still trying to complete that educational goals in order to pursue the things that we want to pursue. So we also talked about pursuing stuff that makes you happy, and the general population, in general, and how they pursue things that don't typically make them, so happy. They go after these degrees, and I brought up this thing that's relatively a new concept. It may have been around for a while, but it's new to me, about a quarter life crisis. People go to school for these degrees and they expect to get high paying jobs, but as they get into that senior year of college, some end up doing graduate level degrees because they haven't had any job offers or haven't had anything to solidify themselves in the workplace and move forward with that. So it's a huge deal that's going on with college students today. And I kind of cater these vlogs to those people too. But you have to go to school. Like my friend was telling me, he did some studies in psychology and a lot of other different things till he found his niche into what he wanted to do with copyright, which is a unique field. I don't know too many people in that industry, but he likes what he does, and that makes it all the better. He doesn't, he was one of the friends who moved out of the state of Florida here to go pursue a job, and sometimes you do have to do those types of things in order to pursue a career that may bring you happiness. But to not waste time and to pursue and try different things, you have to take that chance sometime, that leap, in order to try and have your best successful version of yourself and be the happiest version of yourself as well. So it was interesting catching up with old friends yesterday, and interesting all the events that took place yesterday. Um, and I told him about putting like the reasons I'm going to school, what I'm studying, and the job that I have now is all like coalesced with each other. It's all intertwined. I'm trying to learn. We talked about how the job I have now is like a paid internship where I get to learn the essentials of how a brick and mortar business is ran. And I'm going to school for business marketing or bachelor's in business administration, which is one of the most sought after degrees. But I wanted to put the science, the practical application behind my degree into what I was, and what I was studying, and put it into real world use. That's why I'm a manager at the place I work at, and I get to see all the back non-glorious stuff that takes place in a brick and mortar type of place. And what I mean by brick and mortar is an establishment that's it's not an internet-based business. It's actually an establishment you can walk into, and they call it brick and mortar because it's essentially made of brick. It's got some sort of hard surface establishment that you can walk into. It's like any storefront, and there's a ton of those. And for me to be given the opportunity to learn the insides and outsides of a business, how it's ran successfully, partnering up with my boss, and he's being kind of a mentor, teaching me ins and outs of business in general and how to have a successful business. He's been in business over 10 years and always been successful even through the hard times and misfortune. He's always been able to maintain successful. So as you try and match yourself up with a successful type of person, they can end up being mentors for you. So you can never stop learning. And for me, it was a golden opportunity that I didn't want to pass up. I kind of strive for that, and I got my I'm trying to do a couple different ventures, but I think learning that and then going after the degree I'm going after, they go hand in hand. I always loved the business management side, and it's something that I thought went hand in hand with the military as far as being a manager, leading people, and having that same type of effect. Except in this industry where I'm in now, there's not so many people below me. I don't think we all kind of work together on a level playing field. So it's not like we do all have like one or two bosses, which are the owners, but I mean, we all have roundabout talks to where it feels like everybody's opinion is worthwhile. So, which is, we ended up having a talk yesterday about the events that took place and how to, remedy that, and what might be the best outcome to go ahead and try and not have those situations escalate. So, again, a lot of information in today's vlog. And sometimes I don't know what I'm going to do these vlogs about. Like I sat down in the chair today, and like I was telling my friends, sometimes I'll sit down in the chair ready to do these vlogs, and I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And I think back on the last 24 hours to see what took place and really kind of sum it up. And sometimes within the last 24 hours, I have these interactions that are intriguing, and I try to mentor people sometimes without even them noticing, or I don't know that I'm doing it at that point in time. But reflecting back on the last 24 hours gives me an opportunity to see if I was able to mentor people or talk to people, or just different experiences that come up in my life, and hopefully sharing these experiences with other people will get them to see that hopefully they can learn from the things that I've learned from, take some stuff away from my experiences, and hopefully avoid maybe mistakes that I've had in the past, which we'll get into those in future vlogs as I tie into my daily occurrences. But I appreciate you guys watching. I am overjoyed with the addition of 5 subscribers over the course of one day. That is huge to me. And I appreciate every single one of you subscribers, and I appreciate the comments that are left behind, um, and everything. The time that you guys take to watch these videos really does mean a lot to me. I put a lot of effort into them, a lot of thought into them sometimes, and sometimes if anything, it's just time out of my day that I take to share my experiences with you guys. So I appreciate it. You guys watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. Please continue to leave comments, and I will reply to each and every one of them as I do, unless things start to get a little crazy, which would be only a good thing. So thank you guys again, and I'll see you guys on the next one.